am your father. Earthlings, I am your daddy. Prepare yourselves for Uncle Rico's Storytime, episode 14. He is a noble warrior and can be quite brilliant while he's not being so stupid. Alright, that's all I got. What up? It's June 5th. I know it's not May 5th. I missed that. Oh. Hello. That's much better. Yeah, some fucked up shit. What's up, Chico, my co-star? Cheeks, get up on the couch, buddy. Come on, bub. No, I'm not letting you up here, bub. So some fucked up shit happened last night. And thought I would rip out a podcast. So last night, I'm in Arizona, so it's very hot, and it's June, so it's really hot. So I wait till like 6 o'clock. I grab Chico. Normally I'll take both the dogs on a car ride. They love the car ride. And wait until about 6 o'clock. I grab just Chico and bring him to PetSmart and get his nails trimmed up. On Tuesdays, they do a veteran discount. So I run him in there, get his nails cut real quick, run to the grocery store, and run inside, grab a gallon of milk. I leave. By the time I got to the grocery store, it was like 7:15. Sun had set. Left, 2 inches of the windows open for Chico. And run inside, grab a gallon of milk, paid cash real quick. I was running back out. And there's a fucking old lady in the parking lot. She's like, you drive that blue Ford? I go, yep. And I just kind of kept walking. And she goes, you can't leave your dogs in there. I go, I get it. I just, shut it. And she goes, what? I go, shut your mouth. And she goes, well, I took a picture of your license plate. I'm like, mind your own business, you old hag. And there was a mom and 2 kids out there, so I was like, I'm sorry, to the kids. And so I went to my truck, and she's still yapping and yelling. And I have a temper, and I can get aggressive really quickly. I don't lose my shit, but I'm like, you're gonna remember to keep your fucking nose out of my business. So I go, and like my first instinct is to grab Chico for some reason and go scream at her, and then I'm like, okay, that's just gonna scare Chico. So, but I get in my truck, and I'm like, and I'm about to go walk out there, and I'm gonna ask the mom to put the kids inside because they're putting their groceries away. And I was just going to, kind of just be just a complete asshole to her. And then And then I catch a peripheral and she's taking off. So I get in, start my truck up, start driving. We're kind of going the same way. So I pull up to her at the light and I'm like honking my horn, beep, 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 beep. And she's like, man, she's flipping me off. And so she turns, and so I was like, I'll scare her a little bit. So I was going to whip around and catch up to her and just follow her for a little bit. And I followed her maybe for like a mile. I don't know if I followed her. I saw she drives this like white, smaller SUV, and she had a handicap sticker on her license plate. And she was older, by the way, but doesn't give you the right to be a bitch and involve yourself with, put your nose where other people, where it doesn't belong. And before this, before I got heated, I'm like, look, I know my own dogs. I'm like, thank you very much, I know my own dogs. And she kept da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She's like, I could legally break your window and, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I took a picture of your license plate. I'm going to send it to the deputy and all this, So I whip around. I'm trying to catch up to her. I kind of got my sights on this white car up there, and I'm not entirely sure that it's hers. So I get up. There's a turn. There's a light, and a lot of people will swing it around and come back. So I'm driving along trying to catch up to this white car. I see the white car isn't up there anymore, and I see another car by itself coming the other way real slowly. So I was like, I think this is the car, and it did a U-turn. So I do a U-turn, and she's parked right in front of this restaurant, and it's a smaller SUV with a handicap sticker. So I'm like, okay, this has got to be the chick. So I at that point I get out. No, I didn't. I went home. I dropped the dog off. And then I saw on the counter a banana that had been sitting there. Man, a couple of days passed, right? So I'm like, all right, we'll go back. Teach this chick a lesson. So I grab this rotten banana and I drive back to where this lady is parked at this restaurant. I go into the restaurant to make sure, I don't want to do something fucked up to somebody's innocent person's vehicle. So I go into the restaurant, and the bartender's there with a big old regular guy that had a couple of empties in front of him. And then two servers who are counting up their money. And I go into the restaurant area. Cheeks, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Come on over here. I go into the restaurant area, and there's a table finishing up, and then there's a table of 3 older ladies with waters. And so I'm like, that's them. So I go outside. I pull up the restaurant info, and they close at 8 o'clock, and it's like 8:15, 8:30ish, and I was like, okay, these older broads are meeting right before this restaurant closes. So now I'm like, yeah, I think she's going to get a banana. So I walk up to her car, got her windshield a little bit, got underneath her door handles, got the back window a little bit, some greasy banana action, and then I walk back in the restaurant, and I tend to stand out in the place that I live. It's more of a rednecky, so you don't see too many big bearded Jesus looking dudes with a ponytail and a cut off shirt, because I was working all day. I was tired. So I walk back into the restaurant and I do like a slow turn around the restaurant and walk up to the table of ladies, and I walk up and I go, ladies? And then took off. And I just walked off. So I'm sure they were sitting there like, that wasn't the guy, you know, because I'm sure she told the story of the poor dog that was frying and just withering away inside this car, and she almost had to save it and then was accosted and, you know, whatever. I'm sure she told the story to her friends. So I'm envisioning she was like, that wasn't the guy, you know, I'm old so I can't remember shit. What's that? And then once she gets out to her vehicle, she'll be like, motherfucker, that was. The other thing that I now know is she's probably a regular at this restaurant. She goes in super late and fucking camps out. They all had waters. Restaurant people know the pain of that fucking late table that get the senior discount portions. Maybe two of them split it. They all get waters, and one of them gets a coffee. And they just sit there. I'm glad she got bananaed. You deserve it. Keep your fucking nose out of my business. I get where she's trying to come from, but out here, they're just old retirees. I'm envisioning this chick just driving around shopping centers, scoping out, you know, because right away she was like, legally, county statutes, I could blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Funny thing is, out here, it would take 3 hours for a deputy to show up. They wouldn't even show up. I don't know. They probably got some like flag prioritization thing for Karens that are gonna cause trouble. But yeah, just weird shit happens out here. Got a gun pulled on me during Mother's Day. Was super stoned. It was Mother's Day. I just called my mom, so I was like super happy. And then I'm driving. I was like driving super slow and chill, and there was a slower person in front of me where I'm like, all right, you know, anytime an opportunity would open up, I would give this dude in this truck behind me an opportunity to pass us. And then when he wouldn't, I would put my blinker on and start to get over into the left to go around this slow car. And then he would hammer on it and be like, what the hell, son of a bitch. And I gave him, it happened once and I was like, I think this dude was trying to pass. And then the second time I gave him plenty of time. And then the third time I gave him plenty of time too. And then I went to turn, and this fucker, boom, got in front of me and turned with me. And then on the one-lane road that I was turning into, he slammed on his brakes. So, and I had my window down and stuff. So when he slammed on the brakes, he just kind of sat there. I was like, come on, let's fucking go. And he maybe sat there another 20 seconds. And I was like, let's fucking go, asshole. And the dude fucking gets out. And he was a little tiny short fucker. He got out and his head like got to about like below the seat on the door. And I was like, son of a bitch. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get out and scare the shit out of this dude, you know. And so when he gets out and I'm like, all right, I'll play this hand. And so I get out and fucking takes a gun out on me right away. And that pissed me off. So I start screaming at him, and after a little bit, like the dude's fucking hand was shaking. When I saw how crazy he was shaking, I was like, I better ease off the throttle a little bit. But some passerby is like, hey, there's cops right up there. Da, 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 da. I was like, go get him, go get him. And so this dude holsters, gets in his truck real quick, and tries to beat me to the cops, which I'm fine with. So we race up to the cops, and he parks right in front of the cop. I park behind him. I walk around. I give his truck plenty of girth and like keep my hands up, and I'm going. The cop was there with his windows are down, and I'm like, officer. Kept my hands up, like, hey. And he kind of looked at me, and I was like, hey man, this dude over right behind you in this truck just pulled a gun on me. And he's like, okay, wait right there. And then right away, like, he came over and asked me what's going on. He's like, blah, 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 blah. He talked to the other dude, blah, 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 blah. And we kind of, everybody went our way. Everybody went on their way. The cop, because he was a veteran, I was a veteran, he wanted to press the issue, and so he actually pressed charges. I did get a call from the DA, but they were like, it's he said, she said. And I was like, well, the dude admitted to pulling a fucking gun on me. Like, because he changed his story from what he told the cop initially. They said that he changed his story 3 times regarding the incident on important parts, but ultimately it was he said, she said. So, fucking crazy little bastard. I actually tracked him down, his address. I was going to spray paint his house, but I didn't. Wonder if legally I can get in trouble for bananaing someone. Bananaing. You've been bananaed, bitch. Yeah, it's fun out here. Was in the gym just now, and there is this super hot chick, and whenever I see the girls in the gym with the fucking I want attention clothes, I don't even, I'm like, not looking, because they always do the hip thrusts. But there's this one who's just so hot. Like, I'll leave the gym. I'm just not even. There was a couple of, like 2 weeks ago, I was walking, and she came around a corner and started walking towards me, and I was like, took off. I was like, fucking McLovin on, what is it, Super Bad, with the little chick that he's got a crush on. She's like, she stops in the hallway and is like, are you following me? Or I ask him a question or something, and he's like, 11:15, and runs off. That's my shit. No, that's my game. Yeah, so the super hot chick is in this group fitness thing. Normally when I see her, I'm like, fuck it, I'm out. I just leave. She looks like Puerto Rican or maybe Italian. She's got a little nose. I like fucked up noses. I don't know why. But, yeah, she's in the gym, and I swear to God, one of the girls from the fitness group smelled me. And I don't know if girls do that or not. But I might have smelled. Been working all morning. Gotta ask some of my girlfriends. Do girls smell dudes? Huh. Yeah, but another chick to add to the crush list. Her and my Walmart cashier. I think she might be too young to hit on. Let's see. What did I just recently get into? And what am I arguing about? Facebook is WNBA. Oh my God! What a fucking dumpster fire. So the WNBA, I don't know how long. I need pot for this one. This one's getting some pot. So the WNBA has been around forever. That's not good. So the WNBA has been around forever and has had plenty of amazing college stars come out. Okay, not forever. I don't know how long they've been around, but they're subsidized by the NBA. They don't make money. They don't bring in fans. They travel around in fucking buses. They fly in regular planes. It's not like college at all. Earlier in my podcast, I said that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, because of the money that they're making in college, they made bad decisions going pro. They can have a better lifestyle. They have better facilities. They're making more money in college with more fans, more fervor than going pro. But they both did. Because they're, caught up the celebrity thing. They want to go big time, go to these Hollywood premieres and stuff like that. I get it. So they go pro. They want to be tested, that kind of thing. I get it. But bad decision. So the WNBA, and they've had plenty of amazing stars. Tamika Catchings, I mean, all these, I'm not going to go like, Sue Bird, all these, Rebecca Lobo, all these ladies that have come out. And Rebecca Lobo, I wonder, did she get drafted into the WNBA? I'll have to find out when the WNBA started, but either way, they've had all these stars come out, and recently all these amazing ladies that have taken over college basketball and then went pro. Caitlin Clark now is an outlier because there have been bigger white women. I mean, elephant in the room. She's white in a predominantly black sport. She's excelling at it. This is a phenomenon. And, are people cheering for her for skin color? You bet. There's all these Midwesterners who are like, the great white hype. She's different from the like Rebecca Lobo. I keep coming back to was a big old banger. Caitlin Clark is, and these other girls that have came out have all been bigger bodied, kind of swingman, can get to the rim, shoot a little bit, but Caitlin Clark is like a Steph Curry. She's this new breed. She's this new hybrid. And obviously there's a target on her for her celebrity, but I think for the most part the target amongst the league is because of her skin color. This Angel Reese, she got put on. She's kind of the foil. She's the, I'm not gonna like the arch nemesis. She yeah, I'll say bad guy because she embraced it. She's been put on the map. This whole thing has been added gasoline, so it's great for their whole rivalry and everything has been great for women's basketball. But ultimately, Angel Reese got put on the map for talking shit. Nobody knew who Angel Reese was before the whole face thing, and that didn't even. I remember her excuse to it afterwards was like, oh, she did it to my South Carolina, teammates, blah, 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 which is bullshit because those two teams, I mean, they respect each other, but they don't, they fucking hate each other. So her Angel Reese, the reason why she did that was there was some jealousy. There was spotlight. I'm sure it was racist base, like this fucking white chick, no. She saw it as her celebration. So, when she beat Iowa in the closing minutes, she decided to do that. I'm like, for me, fair game. It's your shit talking. That's okay. But in this day of social media, be prepared to, she's painting herself as like the female version of Dylan Brooks, where she's just running her mouth saying stupid, asinine shit. Be prepared to, she's not a bright girl. I think her GPA was like 1.7. But also, if you want to be a role model to little kids, like, you got to be better educated. But she's an important piece to this puzzle. But fast forward to now, and Caitlin Clark right away, she says she has problems with the flights, and the league commissioner comes out and she goes, hey, from now we're gonna get charter flights done for all the teams. I don't know if they're selling out arenas because they play. I don't know where a lot of these games are played or whatever, but attendance has been insane. People are buying tickets. People are buying. The games are on TV. Jerseys are selling. So instead of embracing this, the league and her teammates don't seem to be backing Caitlin Clark up that much either. And I get that. Every team has that. When a new stud comes in, naturally you go, look, rookie, you gotta fucking prove it. LeBron was, man, they went after LeBron. They banged his mom, which is unheard of. Was unheard of. Now you're hearing about like teammates banging moms, banging wives, and stuff like that. But back then that was like unheard of. You don't fuck with family. But yeah, Delonte West banged his mom, and then was shortly out of the NBA and became a crack addict. I hope he's doing better. But listen to what they said about Kobe coming out there, and your teammates give you a hard time until they realize how great you are. You help them win a couple of games, and then they're like, "Fuck, you the man," And now you got this bond. So I get it with her teammates, but once you start seeing the kind of shit she's getting from the league, that's where your team should go, okay, this is a different situation. We got to take care of this girl. This last cheap shot, this Kennedy, I don't know, Kennedy Carter, whatever. Dude, I wish I could say that, Caitlin Clark is in this chick's head, but I've seen behavior like this. Like, you just made a play and lost. She just made a play and lost her shit. We were playing hockey last season, 2 seasons ago maybe, and this one girl scored a goal, and she's really good, but a hothead. She scored this goal, and a stick went flying by my head, and I was like, what the fuck? I turn around, and my other D guy didn't have a stick, and she was like kind of skating a loop around, like, yeah, just kind of fucking showboating, and I'm like, what the and come to find out, she scored this nice shot, and then kind of danced through the crease, and then did like this Zorro sword thing with my defensive man's stick, and like fucking flung it. Fucking nutso. But that's what this play was kind of with this Carter girl. She hit a 3 or a long 2, and then just like she kind of started to go back, and then she was like, fuck this, and ran up and just elbowed Caitlin Clark. And they were like, oh, refs were like, beep. She grazed her. But my point is ultimately, the whole league is tweeting and talking shit, and I get trying to ratchet up and give a star, especially a newbie, a hard time, but they are like face defending her from one end of the court to the other, and just bad-mouthing the shit out of her. And ultimately, when you boil it down, it's about race on both sides. People hate on Angel Reese because she's black. People hate on Caitlin Clark because she's black. The sole reason they get behind Angel Reese is because of her skin color. The sole reason why they get behind Caitlin Clark is her skin color. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, that's a black power, black pride. You see it every day on social media. Hashtag Black Girl Magic, any video of a black person, the comments are, inevitably, yeah, that's why we gotta stick together, and da-da-da-da, that's why black, blah, 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 a lot of people still look through that skin color filter immediately, instead of just seeing a video of like some awesome little girl kicking ass in gymnastics. Like I want to get on there and be like, so cute, awesome. But as soon as I click on it, it's like, Black Girl Magic. We need more of this to, represent da 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 da. And then of course, like back and forth arguing this racial divide shit. But I get that aspect of both sides of it. Caitlin Clark, you dislike her because of, the hater aspect of it. You're like, why all this public, I'm trying to think of the, of the arguments of what I see on her posts, Besides that, she looks like Screech. I see that she looks like Screech from Saved by the Bell, and I think Angel Reese looks like Sam Cassell. Uh, so oh shit, I lost my train of thought. So both the girls, racism, it's a huge part of this. I get it. There's detractors against Caitlin Clark. There's plenty of people that support Caitlin Clark and are ignorant, redneck morons. I'm sure every time Iowa played a game, in every single dive bar in Iowa, in the Midwest, there was some asshole going, yeah, she's the great white hype. Show those ears something else, So, don't get me wrong. There's racism on both sides, but the moronic rednecks are still smart enough to do it off camera. So there's a video of Ajay Wilson, I think is her name. Aja, I don't know. But she's the reigning MVP for the Vegas Aces. She's just a big old dumb ogre. She gets like 30 rebounds a game and scores 20, 25 a game. Just because she's cleaning up all those misses. But she's sitting courtside talking to Cameron Brink, who my sister has a severe crush on. And she says, she goes, yeah, I look at her and you both kind of the same as far as privilege goes. And Cameron Brink is like, excuse, what? And she goes, I look at you two the same as kind of, the same way as privilege-wise. Man, if she thinks these white girls have it easier being star basketball players, she got such a fucking warped reality. And that's the problem, I think, now. The biggest problem with this racial divide, besides the media fueling the fire as often as they can, is that reverse racism aspect. My ex-girlfriend was black and from the streets, so she would have conversations and stuff with her sister. The first time I was about to meet her sister, I was like, are you sure? And she's like, why? She's like, what do you mean? And I go, she's pretty racist. And she goes, what are you talking about? It started to start this fight. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, she's just said a lot of racist stuff. And she's like, what? She's never said anything racist about white people, da. And I go, there was one phone call where she said her boss was white and so she doesn't trust him. She's always bad-mouthing white people. And she's like, what? Oh, no, she's just playing. And I'm like, no, those weren't... I mean, if it's joking, it's still racist. But that's the kind of shit that I think one side needs to understand is still racist, because it's a fucking rubber band effect. When people hear that stuff, you get mad. And that argument of, well, it's about time, or, now you know how it feels, like, that's just fucking ignorance. You're saying, like, okay, you know how it feels and you're still doing it, which is... And the other thing is like, a lot of these folks that I get into arguments with online will always say like, oh, you know, we had to endure this shit for 100 years, blah, 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 blah. Like, what did you endure, man? Like, a couple of dirty looks. Every time I boil something down, they're always like, you know, you don't know what it's like to walk into a room and get dirty looks. Yeah, you're a fucking stranger. That happens to all of us. Anytime you walk into someplace new, people stop what they're doing, they turn around and they look at you, and they give you dirty looks because they don't know you. I walked into bars out here where people have said shit under their breath. Get the fuck out of here. We don't want your type around here. You know? That's no fucking different from the racist, the race stuff. People are fucking mean. And when they're trying to be mean, they'll say the worst thing they can fucking think of. I got into a fight with my ex when we got into our final fight and like broke up. It was my first relationship that I've ever been in. And I still feel really bad about this, but when we were fighting, I wanted to hurt her. And this is what kind of shed my light on the N-word. Is, you know, people use it. I'm not going to say if you use it, you're automatically a racist. But when you use it, when you get into arguments with people, they will say the thing that they think will hurt you the most. And right now, the N-word is the most offensive, inflammatory word in the world. When you say that, it will get a reaction. It's like saying the C word to a woman. But when I got into this argument with my ex-girlfriend, when we finally broke up, I started to say something and I was like, you know what? And she's like, say it. And I was like, fuck you, I'm not gonna. And she's like, say it, you fucker. Say it, you wanna say it. And I said something disparaging about her and her hygiene of down there. And she was like, nah, that ain't it. And I was like, what the fuck do you think I'm gonna say? And she's like, say it, Nick. And she says it. And I was like, and at that point, I was like, all right, I'm out. I went outside. Because I knew we had reached a level where I was like, okay, we're just being fucking stupid and nonsensical. So, but, I mean, she probably just glazed over it because she was so preoccupied and thought that what I really wanted to do was call her the N-word, but I still feel really bad that I said that her cooch smells. It's one of my bigger regrets. But that's my whole point, is when you're getting in these fights, you will say whatever the thing is that you think will cut that person the most. And that's why that N-word comes out. In these stupid little fucking arguments, you know, they get a reaction. I mean, I've gotten into arguments over, you know, Michael Jordan being the GOAT over Kobe and LeBron. All three are black, but eventually it'll divulge into me being racist and somebody calling me a male skin or a White Walker or, you know, whatever. Your kind don't know basketball. That shit is all racist. And when someone throws that at you, how often do people go, okay, I'm going to take the high road here? They don't. You hit back, especially social media, when your punches don't hurt. Unless I'm involved. I'll do research on your ass and then fucking cut you down. But typically it devolves, it ends up boiling down to N-word, male skin, that point where people are just throwing fucking racial stereotypes at each other. But I don't know. The whole NBA thing, I guess, to bring it back around. Forgot where the hell I was going, but they are just going after this girl. And before this season started, she got an offer from Ice Cube to play on the Big Three, whether or not it was a legit offer or not. But the offer was like up to $5 million. And man, it would be funny if she just pieced out after this year. Or if she got hurt and then the league just went. And then she was like, well, fuck you guys, my teammates, for not taking care of me. She's probably saving receipts. And then in the off season, when that offer comes around, $2 million versus, I think she's getting paid $76,000 a year. Obviously, she's making a lot more in endorsements, but she'd still be making that same amount if she went and jumped ship. Possibly more. Probably more. If they're making that big of an investment in her, they are going to advertise the shit out of her and hope that she spearheads them into a different market share. So that would be a smart move on her part. And then that next season, right back to reality, the girls go. So, I mean, some of it makes sense. Girls are catty, but professionally, like as the league goes, as coaches go, as the commissioner of the league, he's got to send out a memo to the coaches and be like, hey, we've got a lot of attention right now. We need to cut with the extracurriculars and really try to build the sport right now. Even in the NBA, you see the actions, but then when you get the interviews, people are like, oh, Kobe's a dynamic offensive player. We knew it was going to be a tough challenge tonight. Da 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 blah blah blah. But these press conferences, Angel Reese said in a press conference that they didn't even play Caitlin Clark's team. She was like, yeah, I did this in front of a arena that wasn't blah blah blah. She was taking digs at Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark lives in Angel Reese's head full time. She just recently said in an interview, she's like, there are other people that people are coming to watch and da 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 da. Like, these are not normal remarks. Like, if you walk the walk, you walk the walk. She knows that she's kind of just a role player, and still has that jealousy chip on her shoulder. But if they run her out of the league and or get this girl hurt, this little train is going to come to a screeching halt. Yeah. Some of the shit that's going on there is unbelievable. And I'm okay with the hard fouls. These girls play just as hard, for the record. These girls played just as hard, if not harder, than the men. I'll take that back. Women play harder than the men. I've never watched a full WNBA game. I haven't watched a full NBA game in a long time, just because of what the sport has become. But in girls basketball, in the ladies basketball, in women's, there's still defense. They're still boxing out. You don't have that shit in the men's. The men's has turned into this, 24-hour fitness gym, YMCA gym, run down, chuck it up. Somebody grab it, run down, chuck it up. One person, run around, try to generate a shot. Like, nope, I miss the old days. Set offenses, running plays, everybody playing defense, everybody boxing out. Denver has the leg up on everybody every game, because if you watch on shots, everybody's boxing out, besides the point. WNBA, better fundamentals, better team concepts, far less athleticism, obviously. Shooting percentages are, ding, miss, ding, rebound, ding, miss, rebound, ding, miss, rebound. And you get a lot more than that in the pros now, but in the men's. But that's why these bigger ladies are, key. This racist chick from Vegas, that's why she's the MVP. She's a house. She's like 6'7", 2 something. I looked that up. 200? She's over 200. She's a big girl. Yeah, she's just grabbing rebounds, getting layups. But they are going to ruin this thing. So, all right, that's enough nonsense. Yeah, doing better. I don't know if I mentioned in the reason why I took a hiatus was because I was kind of in a bad spot. Battled depression, among other things, and it's just real tough to do these. It's tough to get out of the house during my down periods. So I was kind of in a shitty spot there. I had just this past, was it Friday? Was it Friday? Yeah, Friday I had a birthday party of a good buddy, Adam, and that I was dead set on going to, and then found out that I had a couple of my hockey guys were doing a comedy thing on the same night. So it was like, all right, which one do I go to? I didn't want to let anybody down, and end up letting them both down. Made a bunch of excuses of why I couldn't go, but ultimately just got up and started to be a shitty day like usual. I'm like, all right, that's enough. Went home, hung out with the dogs. So, but I feel horrible about not going to both of those events and letting my buddy and teammates know. Apologize to my hockey buddies. I have yet to apologize to my bro him. But yeah, it's a lot of times during these down cycles, it's hard to leave, and I just shelter up. It's tough having two really cute dogs, because I don't need much more of an excuse to not leave my bed. But that's what's going on. I got bananas, hot chick troubles, and zero game to go with it. And just watching this WNBA thing. Normally, like this, my hockey team's got out, Red Wings are out, the NBA could care less. So normally this period right now sucks sport-wise, but hey, we got WNBA reality drama Girl fights. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Share and like and subscribe and do all of that. And remember, left lane is for passing. Peace out.